Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day, where we're finishing Superman 81 with the Superwoman from Space. I am absolutely loving the two titles of the final two stories in this comic because they have like this extra bit. The Superwoman from Space, and of course 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea with Superman. We have to specify that she's from space because there's been so many fake super people that might as well just tell us that she's from space right up front. But there's no time for that. There's a tank that's been stolen, a prototype tank by some villains of the week, month, whatever you want to say. Actually, every other month when it comes for Superman. Just some random criminals who have stolen a prototype tank and it's running amok. But why are we even bringing this up? Suddenly Superwoman crashes on the planet. I'm starting to see a plot problem already. You can sort of say the tank part of the story bookends the story, but that's not 100% true. It just gets railroaded in the middle by who this Superwoman is, and for her to sort of finish off the story specifically. So this tank plot just kind of gets forgotten about because we have to explain who Superwoman is for a large portion of this comic, maybe 3/5 of it, while the rest deals with the tank. So the actual plot of the story is the Superwoman, Tharka, from the planet Zor. Now, fun thing about the planet being named Zor is when Supergirl is eventually introduced, her father, the brother of Jor-El, is Zor-El. So they either kept that name around or it's just a weird coincidence. Tharka has Superman superpowers on her home planet, and they decide to send her out to be a hero to the rest of the galaxy. There's only just one huge problem with that. On the planet Earth, she has no powers. They were not aware of this when she came here. Now, Superman on his home planet actually did still have his powers because at this time in the 1950s, he is not given his powers by the yellow sunlight. Kryptonians seem to have these powers. That will be undone eventually. Possibly during Byrne's reintroduction, but it could happen in the Silver or Bronze Age. So the story becomes what is a very popular story with the Golden Age Superman stories. The idea of someone thinking they have powers or Superman letting someone think they have powers. So Superman's actually doing all the work while convincing said person that they have powers, which should eventually lead to someone being killed. It doesn't seem like a great idea to be doing this, Superman. Remember Hocus and Pocus? You shouldn't, because the comics don't care about them anymore, which kind of, thank God, they weren't great characters, but it was just completely unfair for Superman to constantly throw them into life and death situations when they were bumbling idiots with no powers. So Tharka's going to eventually save the day without completely realizing that she doesn't have superpowers. That's a fine story. It's not as great as it possibly could be, and I'm still kind of annoyed that most of this tank story has been interrupted by whoever Tharka is. They could have probably layered it into the plot a little better, or we could have introduced Tharka before the tank so it felt more like a prologue that's then set instead of just completely derailing the tank plot. Also, this comic is encumbered by Lois. Now, Lois doesn't get a huge plot, but you can already figure out what Lois's plot's going to be here. It's 1950s Lois. Her main objective is usually to be either jealous of some other woman getting Superman's attention, or trying to prove Clark Kent is Superman. And she's not going to go with the B there. She's immediately jealous of how much focus Superman is giving Tharka, which Superman doesn't really care. He's just trying to make Tharka feel better. So you just have Lois being, generally awful and depicted just almost bipolar in the way she is acting. So they still haven't quite figured out how to tell the story of Superman making someone think they have powers in a particularly strong way or successful way. They're going to still hammer at it, I'm going to guess. I hope one day they do find out how to tell a really good version of the story. Okay, that is it from Superman 81, Superwoman from Space. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to get notification when a new video goes up. I do this Monday through Friday, but Fridays is Bat Friday, where I cover a Batman story in either Detective Comics or Batman. And until next time, let's ponder the question, whatever did happen to the Man of Tomorrow? And whatever happened to Tharka, the Superwoman, and the planet Zor? Okay, have a great day.